welcome to Obscure Depths MLB preview, the Toronto Blue Jays. It's been well documented what exactly these Blue Jays have done in the offseason. They basically got, I don't know, let's say 40% of the Miami Marlins roster, maybe 90% of their payroll. Maybe not that much, but anyway, they also added a little fella named R.A. Dickey, who, guess what, won the Cy Young last year. So let's start right there in the rotation. R.A. Dickey, their #1 starter, had a great season last year. I look for him to do pretty much about the same, maybe not as good of numbers, but I think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to frustrate a lot of people in that division who haven't seen his stuff very often. And, yeah, it's a good change for him. I think, you know, he's one of those guys, if he would to stick to a division maybe 5 years, he probably wouldn't be as successful. People would still kind of figure out how to get at him, but now he's got a new division, and he's ready to frustrate him. They also got Josh Johnson from the Marlins. This kid is great if he can stay healthy. He could easily win 15-20 games for this team. Mark Burley, say what you want about Mark Burley, but this guy's a quality left-handed starter. He's not a strikeout guy. He's just economical. He goes out there, he gives you his innings. He gets the job done. This guy's going to win 15 games for this team. I mean, he won 13 for the Marlins last year. He's going to easily win 15, 18 games for this team. Brendan Morrow's another one of those guys. If he can stay healthy, look out. He's not the strikeout pitcher that he used to be. But if he gets rolling, he could certainly have some good games. Yeah, like I said, if this guy can stay healthy, this team is going to be really dangerous in that rotation. Their #5 starter is Ricky Romero, who had an awful season a year ago. I look for him to rebound with really no pressure on him. I look for him to rebound and have a very, very good season for this Blue Jays team. They also got J.A. Happ, Brett Cecil, Kyle Drabeck, if he could stay healthy. I mean, this team is deep. They are deep at every position. You'll find that here as I go on. It's a running theme. They're very, very deep. Casey Jansen, more than likely going to be the closer. They still also have Sergio Santos, who didn't really see a whole lot of time. They got Darren Oliver, Brad Lincoln, Ishmael Rogers, very serviceable bullpen there. JP Arancibia is the starting catcher. He could still maybe be traded, but I like what this kid brings to the table. He's certainly got 20 home run pop. Who cares if he hits 240? If he hits 20 home runs, you can settle for that, right? Quality backup and Henry Blanco behind him. And they also got Josh Tolley in the R.A. Dickey deal. Tolley's a good guy who's, I think as his career progresses, he's going to be a really good batting average guy, but not necessarily a power guy. Maybe kind of like an A.J. Pierzynski type of hitter. I know A.J. hit a lot of home runs last year. I don't think Tolley will ever hit 20 in the season, but I think as his career progresses, he's going to be a nice batting average, 280, 290, which out of a catcher you really can't ask for much else. You're going to have a little bit of an Adam Lind, Edwin Encarnacion platoon at DH and first base. Both these guys bring a lot to the table. Encarnacion was a beast last year. He had the year last year that everybody's been saying he's going to have for like the past 5 or 6 years. I think he's going to continue that trend and have a really good season with a nice lineup around him now. Adam Lind had his major struggles last year, but I think, like I said, with this better lineup around him, I think he's going to have a decent year. They got a lot of guys that could hit 20 home runs in this lineup. I got Mysaris Torres and Emilio Bonifacio right now listed at second base. I think Bonifacio will probably win this job just because this guy can flat out fly. He stole 30 bags in 64 games last year. When he's healthy, he can get it rolling. I don't know if they would consider hitting him leadoff or not. You know, they got Rajai Davis and Colby Rasmus that could also do that. They also have Jose Reyes that could do that. So it'll be interesting to see this batting lineup come when the season starts. Reyes obviously going to be the starter at shortstop. Another guy that can steal bases, can hit home runs. He can hit for a good average too, and I think he's going to have a really good season with this great team around him. Brett Lowry had a bit of a down year, a little bit of a sophomore slump last year. I look for him to improve on that. Maybe hit 20 home runs. I don't know if he'll ever steal 20 bags, but you never know. I'd like to see his batting average get up there. He did end with a 273 batting average. I think he is a potential 300 hitter, especially in this lineup. So I look for him to have a really good season. Jose Bautista, we know what he can do in right. He hit 27 home runs in just 90 games last year. He's got power. Probably still hit cleanup in this lineup. Yeah, what an outfield, huh? With Kobe Rasmus and Rajay Davis kind of maybe platooning in center. I like. Kobe hit 23 home runs last year, but Rajay can play the center field too. I don't think they'll put too much pressure on Rasmus to perform, so I think he's gonna really have a nice season. I like to see his batting average get above 250. I think that's easily doable in this lineup. Also got Bonifacio who can play out there, and Anthony Goss. They got Mark DeRosa as well in the fold. So this, like I said, this team is 3 deep at every position. It's insane. A bit of an interesting left fielder to start the year. They got Melky Cabrera. We all know what happened with him last year, and we'll see what he can do this year, down to everybody's level, so to speak. Yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get out of this. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I still think, regardless of what he did to his body, I think he's still a very serviceable outfielder. And if he struggles, like I said, they got Rajay Davis, Emilio Bonifacio, Anthony Goss. They got tons of options. I mean, if he really struggles, they took a chance in signing this guy. I think he could maybe hit like 6th or 7th in this lineup, or maybe in a 2-hole and be all right. Is he going to hit 346? Probably not. But this guy could still steal a base. We'll see what his power numbers are going to be like this year. But yeah, that's an interesting story in the left field. And if he's getting all the press, that's going to be less distraction on the rest of this team, and this team is going to be really good, and that's why I'm picking this team to win the division. I think if I had to right now, just because of the depth, I would pick this team to go to the World Series. I know other people are doing that, but I just think, it's easy to put all these players together and say, oh my gosh, look at this great team on paper. But, it's one thing to get them to play as a team throughout the entire season, and that might not be the thing that's going to happen this year. I think you're going to see a very exciting team this year, and I still pick them to win the division, go to the playoffs. And if they falter, they could be a really deadly team the next year. But I see this team winning the division. That's my prediction. Sorry if you don't like it. I'd like to send a big shout out to my #1 fan, Braves fan 1025. Thank you for your encouragement. I really appreciate it. This has been Obscure Depths MLB preview, the Toronto Blue Jays. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.